Hello, welcome back for another lesson, Introduction to Reading Hebrew, Lesson 49. Shir, being the Hebrew word for lesson or measure, Mem Tet, Mem being the Hebrew numeral for 40, Tet being the Hebrew numeral 9. Shir Mem Tet, Lesson 49. Okay, we're going further with our various blessings, various things that we say in the morning as we ramp up to start our day. The Jewish day is filled with prayer. We have various blessings and various prayers that we say for various activities, various things we do throughout the day, eating, drinking, getting up in the morning, getting dressed, going to the restroom. We have various prayers that we say, various blessings that we say for these occasions. And this is aside from the three set prayer times during the day: the Shacharit prayer, the morning prayer, the Mincha prayer, the afternoon prayer, and the Ma'ariv, the evening prayer. So these, the done right, the Jewish day is supposed to be filled with mentioning and thinking about God and His commandments and the various things that God does for us as humans. Okay, so we got up. We in a previous lesson. Now we are going to put on our what they call tzitzit. And the section is titled Mitzvat Tzitzit, the commandment of tzitzit, the fringes, or in Ashkenaz, tzitzis. So, for those of you not to know, the prayer shawl is called a talit. And attached to the prayer shawl, the talit, are four fringes, four on each corner, the tassels on each corner, and they're tied according to a certain way. There's four strings doubled over to make 8 ends, and then they are knotted and wrapped in a particular way that varies according to custom, but is more or less the same. Okay, so those are called tzitzit, and they are attached to the prayer shawl. But in modern usage, we do not wear, in modern clothing, we do not wear the prayer shawl all day. Certainly in biblical times, the outer garment, this was a much more practical outer garment, but in modern Western clothing, this is not as practical a garment. So what has developed over time so that we can wear this garment, the tzitzit, at all times, what has developed is what they call a talit katan, or a talis katan. The talit katan is the small talit, the small prayer shawl, which is really something like a small garment that is worn for most people under their shirts. Hasidim and certain Sephardim will wear them on top of their shirts, but it is a small garment, and you'll sometimes see traditional men with their fringes outside their pants. So these fringes are attached to a garment, a four-cornered garment worn underneath the shirt, and they can be gotten in various materials. The absolutely traditional option is wool, but they can be purchased in many different materials. Okay, so let's go. Mitzvot tzitzit. So the blessing that is said upon putting on the talit is, and again the beit should be over here, it is Baruch Atah Adonai, blessed are you, Lord, Eloheinu melech ha'olam, our God, melech ha'olam, king of the world, asher, that Kiddishanu b'mitzvotav, who has sanctified us or has set us apart with his commandments, Vitzivanu al mitzvat tzitzit, who has commanded us concerning the commandment of the mitzvah tzitzit, the commandment of tzitzit, these fringes. Okay, and that's the blessing. If somebody standing around casually would hear this blessing, they would answer Amen. You typically do not answer Amen to your own blessings, because you don't need to affirm what you just said, because you're the one that just said it. So for the vast majority of prayers, we do not answer Amen to our own prayers. Okay, so we would put on our talit katan, or our talit gadol, the big prayer shawl that everybody knows. And then we would say some other prayers. Now, learning Torah is also a commandment. The studying Torah is a commandment. Some would say that it's an implicit commandment bound up in the fact that we have a book. And a book begs to be studied. So some would argue that it's not a direct commandment, it's an implicit commandment, but nevertheless we treat it as a commandment. And we have blessings over the learning of the Torah, over the studying of the Torah. And of course this extends to other Torah literature, to the Tanakh as a whole, but also to rabbinic literature, who really is addressing issues within the Tanakh, and especially within the Torah. So this blessing would cover all that material. So in the morning, before we study anything, before we do anything, we would want to acknowledge the fact that God has given us this body of material that we are to study. Okay, so this little section is called Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe. Torah Tziva Lanu has been commanded to us by Moshe, or Moshe commanded us the Torah. Okay, 4, of course, Moshe being Moses commanded the Torah via God. Okay, line 4, Torah Tziva Lanu Moshe, the Torah which Moshe commanded us. 5, Morasha Kehilat Yaakov is a inheritance, they say heritage, works, Kehilat Yaakov, of the Kehillah of Yaakov, which of course means Israel. It is the of the congregation of Israel. So they say it's the heritage of our people. Kehilat Yaakov literally means the congregation of our people, of Yaakov, which of course means Israel. Okay, fine. Al divrei Torah. And here's the blessing proper for the Torah. 6. Baruch atah Adonai. Blessed are you, Lord. Eloheinu melech haolam. Our God. Melech haolam, King of the world. Asher, that. Kiddushanu b'mitzvotav, who has sanctified us, or who has set us apart, but with, or in, mitzvotav, with his commandments. Vitzivanu, and has commanded us, l'asok b'divrei Torah, to busy ourselves, to toil, but in divrei Torah, in the words of Torah. So we have a commandment to toil. We don't, again, I've alluded to this, we don't read the Torah like a novel. Though there are various sections that have a very high standard of literary merit, but we don't read it as a novel. This is not Mark Twain or Moby Dick. We busy ourselves in the Torah because this is primarily a law book. So we busy ourselves in it, looking into what is expected of us. How are we to behave? And that busyness is called being osek, working, toiling in the Torah. And that's what we're really commanded to do. Okay, let's go further with the section. 9. And then after that we say, V'ha'arev na Adonai Eloheinu, and make sweet, please, Hashem our God. 10. Es divrei excuse me, I'm slipping into Ashkenazis, I apologize. Et divrei Toratcha bifinu, the words of the Torah in our mouth. 11. V'fi amcha, and in the mouth of your amcha. Bet Yisrael, the house of Israel. 12. V'niyeh, and it should be anachnu, by us, and tze'etzoenu. It's a hard word for most people to say, but tze'etzoenu, those who come out from us, meaning our children. 13. V'tze'etzoe ancha, and those that come out from your people. Beit Yisrael, the house of Israel. 14. Kulanu, all of us, Yodei Shemecha, the knowers of your name. 15. V'lomdei Toratecha, the learners of your Torah, Lishma, for its own sake. And then we say, 16. Baruch Ata Adonai, blessed are you, Lord, Hamelamed Torah La'amo Yisrael, who has taught Torah to his people, La'amo Yisrael, Israel. And that's the closing blessing. And of course, again, if you hear somebody say this blessing, you would answer Amen. It's an interesting idea here that we learn Torah Lishma, for its own sake. They say wholeheartedly. Lishma, typically, historically, Torah Lishma has meant learning it for its own sake, meaning that we are not learning it. We can physically read the same text and have different reasons for reading the text. This is more of this idea. We can be reading the Bible to complete a degree in Bible studies from a Bible college. We could be studying the Torah to complete an ordination and become a rabbi, or for any numerous reasons. We could study the Torah to enter a debate, whatever. We could be doing this for any number of reasons, and that's fine. And there's nothing forbidden about doing that. But we also should remember that we should study the Torah simply because it was given to us for its own sake, not treated as a tool to some other end. We should read it because it is from God, and it is for us to learn. So this is a thought that we should have in our minds, that when we sit down to learn, we should, even if we have other reasons why we might be learning it, we should try to remember that we are also learning it because this is from God and it is for us. And there's no other reason than that. That's the primary reason. Everything else, any other reason that we might be reading the Torah or learning the Torah, is incidental. Okay, well, we'll see you next time with the next lesson. I wish you well. Keep learning. Atzlacha Rabba. Kol Tov.